Hey, my friends. This is The Art of Prepping. Hope you guys are doing well today. So I have 5 simple ways to calm down. And this is when you're stressed out or you're just overwhelmed or you feel down or you just don't feel like your normal self. What are some things that you're probably not doing, and what are some things that you should be doing or that could help you? Let's just say it that way. Well, a lot of times people who are tense and stressed, they breathe in a very shallow manner and they're not getting enough oxygen. And when you do that, you kind of breathe faster than you really should. So slow your breathing down and do deep breathing. So basically breathe, like really breathe. And you do that for a few minutes and you're going to feel a lot better just right there. A lot of problems come down to just breathing. And so your body gets tense because in a lot of cases, you're not getting enough oxygen. And even if the whole body tension started because of stress, you're only going to prolong the stress reaction or continue this vicious cycle of being tense, right? Because you're not breathing right. So really pay attention to your breath. And when you inhale, you can do this method called the box breathing. And box breathing is you count to 4 as you inhale, and then you hold for 4 seconds. And then as you exhale, you count in your head to 4. So you 1, 2, 3, 4 as you inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4 as you hold your breath, and 1, 2, 3, 4 as you exhale. You do that a few times, that'll calm you down. Or at least you'll feel a little bit more settled. There's another thing that is like a mindfulness type of exercise that you can do. It's called like grounding, where you can sit and you start to really focus and pay attention to your body. And you work from your head all the way down to your feet and how your feet, are touching the ground. And you basically become aware of what you're connected to and how your body feels in the moment. And that can calm you down. So basically, a lot of this is shifting the focus, your focus away from whatever it is that you think you need to be stressed about or worry about. And you may have a legitimate reason why you're stressed and worried. So I'm not trying to discount that, but you can minimize some of the suffering that we put ourselves through, which is a lot of times unnecessary, but a lot of times we just don't see it that way. I mean, we really do cause most of our problems. That's just what I've noticed in my life. Can't speak for everyone, but if I had to guess, most people cause most of their problems for themselves. It's not the world around them. It's not other people. It's not their job. It's not school. It's not anything really. I'd say it's well over 50% that we do things that we make bad decisions and then we have to pay the consequence. Okay, moving on. Laugh at the situation. Now, some people think they should just laugh at yourself. I mean, in some ways, I guess you could, but out of respect to yourself, it's not the best habit to laugh at yourself or to put yourself down. I know there are some people who do that as a coping mechanism, and they kind of have that idea that, especially around other people outwardly, that if they put themselves down, then other people won't attack them because, well, they're already belittled. But I really think that in the long term, or even in the short term, for the most part, it's not a healthy thing to put yourself down or to laugh at yourself. You can laugh about the situation you're in. That's okay. And so, absolutely, put things into perspective. Look at how ridiculous some things are in life and just laugh, And even if things aren't that funny, and you may only be able to do this, by yourself, but just start laughing out loud when it's appropriate. You can just laugh, and it's a lot easier if you're by yourself, removed from other people. But you start out, it's more of a forced laughter, but what has been found over the decades is that after just a small amount of time, it could just be a minute or two, the fake laughter starts to become real laughter. And then you can just laugh at the fact that you're laughing. And it's kind of like fairly infectious, if you will. Just like being around mopey people and being around sad, depressed people kind of gets you down. It's the same thing with, when you're around really happy people who are laughing, you tend to laugh too. And you kind of, feel like that it kind of uplifts your spirit. So just laugh. And before you know it, you'll start to actually, have genuine laughter. It's one of those kind of sayings, I guess, that you fake it until you make it. It's kind of the same thing with this. You can literally be in a pretty bad mood and come out of it pretty quick. And this kind of comes to our next point here, that our thinking isn't typically the main causation or the main source or driver of the way we feel. So our emotional, type of state, our emotional state has a lot to do with how we feel, a lot more than thinking. Now, our thoughts can contribute, obviously, because it can merge us into an emotional state. But if you really want to change how you feel, you go right into your emotional state and you change your posture, how you talk to people, how you do things. And you change the way that you function. The crazy thing about being a human is that you would think that everything is coming from the brain, and the brain or the mind. The mind is kind of an abstract concept for a lot of people. Some people say it is the brain. Other people say that, well, we're a spiritual being, so the mind is kind of outside of the brain. The brain is just an organ. It's just kind of it's just something that the body uses, but it's not where the consciousness is. But it's debatable. But regardless, what's really interesting is that in most cases, the body is telling the brain or the mind kind of how you feel. So you would think, though, that you would think something first and then you would feel it, or that your body will respond to your thoughts. But in a lot of cases, if not most, when it comes to trying to influence your emotional state, you want to start with the body first. And then when the body is calm, then it calms the mind, not the other way around, at least typically speaking. It's pretty amazing, really. So that's why it's important to breathe, calm down, change your focus, right? Some of the things we just talked about. Laugh, because laughter is the body releasing tension, and it's giving a signal to the brain that everything's okay, because you don't laugh if you're in a state of danger, right? If you're an imminent threat is upon you, you don't sit there and laugh. So when you do things that really you can only do, or only should do, if you're safe, then it's going to really calm you down. And the last thing is, besides doing certain things like your posture and how you interact with other people, is to get moving, be active, right? Be active. What does this do? Well, when we're more active, it helps to strengthen the frontal cortex of our brain. And the more we can get that going, the more then it can send signals that we're okay. And it can calm us down because of how it regulates our body. And we also have stress hormones. There's several of them. And what we found, what science has found over time, is that when you're moving and active and you're doing meaningful things, you burn those off. And so you can regulate your stress hormones a lot better when you're active and not just sitting around and moping, or just sitting there and thinking negative thoughts, which could compound problems. But once again, we know that our physical state really impacts our emotional state. And that's why it's so important to get up and move around, so that our physical state that is being compromised or influenced heavily by our stress hormones can be, balanced and dealt with so that we can get, in right order so that our mind can start thinking correctly, right? Or you can call it our brain, whatever you want. So I hope this helps. These are basically 5 simple ways to calm down if you're stressed out. And I hope this helps someone. If you have any other thoughts on this subject matter that can help other people, I would really appreciate, and I'm sure other people would appreciate, if you left, a message or a comment in the comment section. Thanks for all your support over the years. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for hitting the like button and sharing this kind of content to other people. Especially if this has helped you, then it may help other people. So feel free to share the video. You guys take care. I'll catch you later.